family and I moved to Bowdon here. My wife is an ordained pastor and got called to the Lutheran church in town here. We moved here in December of 2009. This building, I drove past it. I remember the first time it just looked terrible. It wouldn't have caught my eye, but the guy who built it lived right across the alley from us, and he was an elderly man and was just telling me many times about the sad condition of his old shop and that somebody should take this on and do something about it. His name was Clinton Krause, and yep, he had a plan of his own that if he could buy it back, he was going to fix it. But it wasn't for sale, it didn't sound like. The building was in very bad condition. When we moved to town, I happened to notice it, but the sills had rotted so that it had slipped off. The building had fallen off and was about 3 feet out on each side, which added up to about a 5-foot sag in the middle of the peak. It looked really bad and completely buried in snow. I bought it kind of verbally. We didn't even have it in writing. 5 days later, when I thought it couldn't get any worse, it crashed. We had about 6 more inches of wet snow and it fell flat on the ground. I was very upset. I thought it was as bad as it could get, and then when it crashed, I knew there was no hope. Before that, I thought I had a 50% chance, and then I realized I didn't have any chance after it fell. We started cleaning up the mess, hauling. We had an old dump truck, and I was pulling some long curved sections, this round roof building, some big curved chunks of rafter, and I started thinking, boy, if there was a way to splice those pieces back together again, maybe I would just try putting it up. I couldn't believe I was even thinking it, really. It did occur to me as I was working on this, I'm sure I looked like I was crazy, and I thought, if this works, I'll be a hero, and if it doesn't work, I'll just have to leave town again. My main construction crew for a lot of especially the cleanup and starting to rebuild, was my old neighbor Clinton, who was 95, and then I was in charge of taking care of our 3-year-old son while my wife was busy. So Michael was 3 and Clinton was 95. On average, our whole crew was 50 years old. The first thing I tried, well, I was thinking about just butting the broken pieces back together again and putting one big patch on. But then I studied it. This is a piece of the rafter from the original building, and it was made with laminating 3 boards together. I noticed wherever it broke, it usually would break where there was already 1 board splice, so it wrecked 2 other boards. I set up a big jig right on this cement floor and laid 1 good rafter on there, and then would start with 2 broken pieces. I cut out the bad part and replaced it with boards from other pieces of rafters. This is a piece of lumber I found laying around here. It was a little sketch when I was figuring out how many gussets I would need. So we made these 26, and then I kind of came up with a plan to do some trussing. The original building had no trussing at all. It was just that 2x6 that went all the way around. So we added a stringer across at the ceiling level, and then another 2x4 at a slant on each sidewall, and then used gussets and glue on all those joints. It's a real complicated rafter. It took lots and lots of pieces for each one. I think there were 24 gussets, and then a lot of 2x4 bracing. I think there were about 40 pieces at least for a rafter. It was like 1,000 pieces to put all those together. It wasn't rocket science at all, really. Just some new construction methods, kind of piggybacked with the old style here. I know when it fell, initially I thought, I was kind of devastated that would be the end of the whole project. But looking back, I realized that was really the best way to get a good job, was to work on it right on the ground, put those pieces back together, made a lot of good uniform trusses, and it turned out much better than if I had just tried to straighten it. I'm really pleased with the end result. It's a nice roomy shop. It's warm and easy to heat. I think it's a good looking building. I do like the curved roof design, and I've enjoyed it a lot, and I've had some friends come and work on their equipment and spend time in here too. So it's just been really happy with the way it's gone.